Hannah bids farewell to V as she prepares for sleep, but in an instant, the power goes out, plunging her home into darkness. Rushing outside to investigate the sudden blackout, she discovers a familiar vehicle parked in her yard. Her heart sinks. Inside lies the lifeless body of someone she knows, intensifying the sense of dread that envelops her. Panic sets in as she rushes to her daughter's room, only to find it eerily empty. Desperate for help, she races through the neighborhood, seeking refuge with an elderly woman. Let's understand the story. At the beginning of the film, we are introduced to a resilient elderly woman who navigates her home with a sense of determination. Accompanied only by her loyal dog, Jax, she embarks on a digging expedition in her backyard, where she uncovers a mysterious box. As the weather begins to turn ominous, hinting at an impending storm, she examines the contents of the box, revealing old documents and photographs that she methodically burns. In a heartbreaking turn, she prepares to take her own life, clutching a suicide note and a gun. Unexpected noise sounds outside, and the scene fades to black. The narrative then shifts a few days to introduce Lou, the woman from the earlier scene, now on a deer hunting trip. After successfully hunting, she visits the bank to withdraw all of her savings, prompting a noticeable reaction from the cashier that suggests Lou has accumulated a considerable fortune. She leaves the bank with her cash in a bag, only to be confronted by Sheriff Rankin upon returning to her vehicle, where he discovers a deer. When questioned by the sheriff, Lou confidently claims that the deer had dashed in front of her car before walking away, leaving the sheriff bewildered. Meanwhile, we learn about V and her mother, Hannah, who are renting from Lou. Hannah often tells V that her father is on a treasure hunt, though the reality is quite different as she looks to be hiding something. Lou arrives as usual to collect the rent from Hannah, instructing her to leave the money on the table before dinner the following day. Upon leaving, Lou nearly collides with V. Hannah angrily scolds her before leaving. Soon after, Chris, a friend of Hannah's, pays her a visit, revealing their romantic relationship through their conversation. On his way home, Chris encounters a rain-soaked stranger on the side of the road and offers him a ride. However, the situation takes a dark turn when the stranger unexpectedly attacks Chris for reasons that remain unclear. Meanwhile, Hannah anxiously withdraws money from her savings to ensure she can pay the rent in the morning. Following this, we see Lou in a moment of profound sorrow as she destroys photographs and writes a heartfelt letter to Hannah. In her message, she conveys that Hannah is now the rightful owner of the house and is free to sell it if she wishes. She leaves food for Jax and some cash tucked away in the freezer. Despite her struggles with expressing her emotions, it is evident that Lou harbors deep affection for both Hannah and V. The weight of her troubled past seems to have led her to this harrowing crossroads, where thoughts of suicide linger in her mind. Meanwhile, a sudden blackout envelops Hannah's home, prompting her to step outside to investigate the fuse. As she does, an intruder stealthily enters her house from behind. Confused by the presence of Chris's van parked outside, despite his departure some time ago, Hannah's unease escalates. A chilling discovery awaits her as she uncovers Chris's lifeless body hidden behind the van, intensifying her sense of dread. The scene shifts back to Lou, who is on the brink of ending her life when a knock at her door interrupts her grim resolve. It is Hannah, visibly shaken and desperate as she attempts to call the sheriff, only to find no one answering. She expresses her fear that her husband, Philip, has returned to kidnap V and take her away. Living on a secluded island far from civilization, Hannah reveals that Philip has tracked her down. Alongside this revelation, she shows Lou a photograph of herself and V that conceals a hidden message. Recognizing it as coded communication, Lou quickly realizes the urgency of the situation. Together, they rush outside to assist Hannah. Upon opening the hood of her car, Lou discovers a time bomb nestled within. Acting swiftly, she pulls Hannah away just before the vehicle explodes in a fiery blast. In the aftermath of this terrifying event, Lou steels herself to find V. She informs Hannah that they are 10 miles from the city and must rely on their own resourcefulness to rescue her daughter. However, Hannah warns Lou that Philip is not just any man. He is a soldier with expertise in explosives and a recent criminal history, currently evading law enforcement. Observing the marks on the ground, Lou deduces that Philip is dragging V in a tram, likely aiming to reach a boat before they can intervene and save her. Lou suggests they wait for the storm to pass before contacting the sheriff, but Hannah, driven by urgency and fear, disregards her advice. Meanwhile, V awakens to find herself confined in a wooden cage, disoriented and frightened by the unfamiliar face before her. A wave of relief washes over her when she recognizes it as her father, Philip, who ominously assures her that her mother will arrive soon. As Lou and Hannah press on in their quest, they encounter a house inhabited by two individuals. Lou steps away from Hannah and approaches the home, fabricating a story about her lost dog in the rain and expressing a need to seek shelter. However, as she enters, a sinking feeling grips her. V is nowhere to be found. Her anxious demeanor raises suspicions among the occupants, leading her to react defensively by hurling hot soup at one of them. A brief but intense confrontation ensues, revealing Lou's formidable strength as she extracts vital information from one of the men before ultimately taking his life. Hannah's trust in Lou begins to waver as she realizes that Lou is not an ordinary woman. After a series of probing questions,
What branch of the military were you in?
CIA.
A spy?
26 years in the field.
Wouldn't have guessed that.
Be a shit spy if you did.
Lou reveals her past as a CIA field agent with 26 years of experience. In the midst of this revelation, Hannah discovers a walkie-talkie and contemplates using it to alert the sheriff. However, Lou strongly advises against it, insisting that they must keep it off to avoid drawing attention to themselves and jeopardizing both their safety and Lou's pursuit of answers regarding her circumstances. Meanwhile, Philip makes his way toward the shore, becoming increasingly aware of Hannah's presence. Recognizing the danger, Lou observes the marks on Hannah's hands, evidence of past abuse inflicted by Philip, a reality that only became clear after their marriage. As they continue their perilous journey, Hannah spots a tram and realizes that it is necessary due to a broken bridge ahead, a crossing that Philip cannot navigate. Lou instructs Jax to return home before they safely traverse the bridge. However, as Lou tries to help Hannah, her injured hand hinders her progress, leading both women to lose their footing and fall from the bridge into the unknown below. Against all odds, they manage to escape drowning in the river and reach the shore, only to find themselves unable to locate V after spotting an ancient, decaying ship looming in the distance. Anxiety tightens its grip on Hannah, but Lou offers a glimmer of hope, suggesting that this could be part of Philip's sinister plan.
As they explore the ship, they stumble upon a photo of V, a teddy bear, and a letter.
Suddenly, Lou notices smoke rising from a boat far off, a clear indication that Philip is aware of their presence. Undeterred by the looming danger, Lou instructs Hannah to call the sheriff from the mountaintop and then follow the trail of smoke. From a distance, Lou catches sight of V sleeping in what appears to be a safe spot, but as she draws closer, she finds herself confronted by Philip, who holds her at gunpoint. Meanwhile, Hannah receives a signal and makes a report to the sheriff, only for the connection to be abruptly severed. The tangled web of their pasts begins to unravel as it is revealed that Lou is, in fact, Philip's mother. Philip harbors deep-seated resentment towards her, having kidnapped V as a means of punishing Lou for decisions made during her years as a spy. Lou confesses that Hannah remains unaware of the full truth about Philip, that he was abducted as a toddler, and her covert life had forced her into choices that prevented her from searching for him. Over time, Philip's contempt for his mother grew, and despite their complicated relationship, Lou had desperately tried to protect Hannah and V from his wrath, fearing for their safety. She lacked the courage to reveal that Philip was her son all along. In a brutal confrontation of events, Philip injures Lou and escapes with V. Meanwhile, the sheriff has been alerted to Hannah's plight in the kidnapping but is advised by his department to steer clear of the escalating situation. He soon discovers that the CIA is pursuing Lou while also searching for Philip, who is known as a notorious fugitive. In reality, both of them needed to be eliminated. As Hannah rummages through Lou's luggage for medical supplies, she uncovers several photographs that suggest the notes left by Philip were intended for Lou rather than herself. Doubt begins to creep in. Hannah starts to question Lou's true involvement in the unfolding drama. In a moment of vulnerability, Lou admits her identity as Philip's mother and explains how she orchestrated Hannah's safety on the island. This revelation begins to restore some measure of trust between them, leaving Hannah grappling with conflicting emotions as she navigates the complexities of their intertwined fates. Lou reveals to Hannah that Philip has taken V to the lighthouse, prompting Hannah to embark on the perilous journey alone. Meanwhile, the sheriff has arrived, thanks to Jax's timely assistance. Upon noticing Lou's injuries, he rushes to gather medical supplies to aid her. As the sheriff departs to secure the necessary items, Lou hops on her bike, determined to reach the lighthouse. Hannah arrives at the lighthouse just in time to spot Philip and V on the top. Initially, Philip blocks V from reuniting with her mother, but Hannah manages to persuade him otherwise. She informs V of her plan to move downstairs as part of their relocation efforts. In a moment of desperation, Hannah confronts Philip with a gun, but in a reckless moment, she pulls the trigger. Philip retaliates, and a fierce struggle ensues between them. In the chaos, Hannah manages to stab him in the hand before making a break for V. To her horror, she discovers that Philip has rigged a remote-controlled explosive device, still in possession of the remote. Just then, Lou arrives on the scene and quickly assesses the situation, beginning to work on defusing the bomb after witnessing its deadly potential. As Hannah races down a narrow path with V in tow,
Run as fast as you can. Please, baby, I'll meet you there. Go, 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 go. Run, little rabbit.
They remain trapped within the lighthouse's confines. When Philip spots Lou, he brandishes the bomb remote. However, when he presses the button, nothing happens. The explosive has been successfully disarmed by Lou. With the immediate threat neutralized, Lou and Hannah seize their chance to escape the lighthouse. However, as they make their way to safety, Lou notices a helicopter circling overhead, realizing that the CIA is actively searching for them. Determined to divert their attention from Philip, Lou activates the bomb remotely using a walkie-talkie after putting some distance between herself and the lighthouse, obliterating the structure in a calculated act of sacrifice. She instructs Hannah and V to flee while revealing that she has left a letter for Hannah at home. Moments later, Philip arrives on the scene, leading to a heated confrontation between mother and son. Their argument crescendos into an emotional embrace filled with tears. As Lou watches the helicopter overhead, she apologizes to Philip for their tumultuous past. Suddenly, gunfire erupts from the helicopter, striking Philip and sending both him and Lou into the water below. After an extensive search, the helicopter crew concludes that they are both lost at sea and departed. The narrative shifts back to Lou's home, where it's revealed that the CIA has been pursuing Hannah for months in their quest for Lou's whereabouts. In her possession are crucial documents that could expose the CIA's covert operations dating back to 1953. In the film's closing moments, we see Hannah and V preparing to leave Lou's house. After enduring intense scrutiny from the CIA and bidding farewell to the sheriff, they find themselves aboard a ferry alongside Jax. Jax's gaze is drawn to a figure partially obscured on the upper deck. The camera angle shifts to reveal a woman's arm adorned with a scar identical to Lou's and wearing a copper bracelet. Through binoculars, she watches over her granddaughter and daughter-in-law, hinting at a connection that transcends loss and time. Thank you for watching. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe for more recaps until next time. Have a nice day.